freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here, coming to you again in an iteration of Dude After Dark, me playing around with a fiendish thingy that we shouldn't talk about probably on YouTube, but it's one that I actually happen to scarf up on eBay, so you'd probably have a later iteration and good stuff like that there, but it's one of those fiendish thingies we don't really get to talk about much on YouTube because it might be one of those banned objects. No, running a couple minutes late, but good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Good stuff. And let me try to move out smartly. Come up with my stories and my stack of stuff. Doing the Sean Connery bad denture thing that, Okay, never mind. Anyway, so way, shape, and form in which we find ourselves. Let me get myself onto my stack of stuff, which I really probably should have done, previously, but I will get myself this done accordingly. Hope you guys are doing okay tonight. Good stuff like that there. We survived the eclipse. Woo! I mean, literally for me, where I was and, or currently am in Bmore, I really didn't get much of an eclipse. Truthfully, it pretty much was kind of really weak sauce. And it really was just behind clouds. So I got just about nothing out of the eclipse. And it could be said that pretty much it was a, it was, okay. Not know if you're going that way, sound guy, but it was definitely, it really...
I've fallen and I can't get up.
It was just... It was weak sauce, man. It just did not... Okay, it was weak, man. On my side of the page, it was really, really weak. Patriot Fever in the room. Little Patriot 6 is even prepping sick bombs. Little Patriot 6. Dude, leave her alone for 5 minutes, okay? You're cranking them out there. Before you know it, you're going to have your own basketball team. Good effort, but wrong output. Excuse me 1 second here. The mental picture on that one alone is just, it's like imagining your parents. Oh, that one I shall say no more, but ew, just ew. Let me scrolly. Okay, looking at some good news stories. Okay, I think I'm now on board. So I don't think you guys heard about this one up, but supposedly there was a bunch of guys freaking out because the incoming solar event known as the moon passing in front of the sun and creating shadows and everybody losing their collective, how would you say, sound guy? Yeah, losing their collective. So anyway, this Ontario mayor, thanks, sound guy, Jim Diodati is expecting the Canadian side of Niagara Falls to receive over 1 million visitors on one day the eclipse is set to occur, which is the main reason why Niagara officials decided to issue a state of emergency. Sound guy, come on, you're going to run through every single sound effect? Anyway, so they decided to call out the troops, as it were. Anyway, so Niagara Falls, Canada's declared a state of emergency ahead of the April 8th total eclipse as 1 million people expected to flood the area. Okay, having a lot of people at Niagara Falls is really not that unusual. Having 1 million people show up at once, welcome to Times Square, dude. You got more space over there in Niagara Falls than they have in Times Square. Trust me. Just give me 1 second here. Patriot Fever, Party of 6 met Little Patriot 4. I should hope so, dude. Get off her for 5 minutes, okay? Jeez, it's not like you're the Duggars. 16, 17 kids later. Well, let's just say that the lady place is not a clown car, okay? Hey, Zach, how you doing tonight, dude? Appreciate you coming on by. Let's see. Scroll. So they're basically snapping out in certain areas. And speaking of snapping out, coming in from truthpress.com. Hunter Biden's attempt to have all of his tax charges thrown out was defeated on Monday, letting the criminal case against him move forward. Now, in my heart of hearts, I would say justifiably, if nothing else, just him getting stuck with the tax charges, the discovery process alone is going to pull back the curtains and let everybody know just how dirty the Biden crime family is. Truthfully, it is one of those horrifically icky things where pretty much a president should never ever be selling his influence for money, but apparently they could, apparently they should, and apparently as long as it's not a Republican doing it, everything is all ducky. Oh, I got that from. Anyway, just crap on my desk. I cleaned my desk the other day. I'm now discovering all kinds of, little hideaway stuff that I'm like, hey, where'd that come from? Anyway, so scrolly. Decision confirms Biden faces 3 felony charges and 6 misdemeanor charges in connection with tax evasion, filing a false return, and failing to pay taxes between the years of 2016 and 2019. Now, if you do the math, I don't know what the statute of limitations is for tax evasion, but technically for most felonies, with the exception of murder or kidnapping, it tends to have a statute of limitations. I don't know what the statute of limitations is for tax evasion, but apparently he's still inside that window, and oh, my stars and garters, he does not look happy in the pictures. He's being escorted out of the courtroom. As a matter of fact, he looks kind of like, really like pissed off dad face, and I think I know where he gets it from. This was kind of one of those icky, horrifically badly placed stories, but kind of is one of those things that has happened, will happen, and will probably happen yet again. And I think it goes right back to that whole mindset of the cops had the mindset of, I'm going home no matter what. Everybody's a perp. Well, when you have that mindset and everybody's a perp, potentially you're going to have an accident. So there was a girl who was kidnapped, age 15, and literally was running to the cops saying, save me, save me, save me, save me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And she ran to the cops, and the cops lit her up. Literally, in Hesperia, California, as a deputy takes cover by a police SUV, she was shot dead in a hail of gunfire. They said, screaming, stop shooting her. He's in the car. Stop. She's okay. He's in the car. Stop. The deputy pleads. Cops previously claimed Savannah was shot because she was wearing tactical equipment and fired back. However, the footage appears to prove she was unarmed. When you have this mindset of everybody's a perp, the thin blue line, and all the rest of this happy horse stuff, accidents are going to have happen because you're going to shoot first and you're going to ask questions later. Every single one of those guys that lit her up need to go to jail. Very simply put, that's not a horrific accident. A little girl running at you who's going, help me, help me, help me, help me, is not a bad guy holding a gat on you, okay? Let's just be completely honest here. They completely misread the scene, and they dropped her with great enthusiasm. Scrolly. Oh, yeah, the Indiana governor issues a state of emergency ahead of the solar eclipse. Oh, man. Gee, I don't know if you guys would think about this one or not, but this might be one of those kind of potentially obvious things. So supposedly California's $20 $20 fast food minimum wage has, that's right, it just ballooned the menu prices in the restaurants because, it's going to cost more for the labor in them. Thanks, sound guy. Well, it could be said, most simply put, that if you start charging more for the labor in the place has to charge more to the customers because they cannot make it work. So looking at like the menu here, it's like a Whopper meal is like $12. The Whopper sandwich by itself is like $8. The Impossible Whopper is like $12, $12.39. The sandwich by itself is like $7 and $8. Immediately the prices went up by like $2 or $3 per item. No continuance on that one. So menu prices of fast food chains across California have increased. New law went into effect requiring them to pay $20 an hour minimum wage to workers from Monday. Coming at truthpress.com. The Post checked menus of several restaurants in Los Angeles area, or Los Angeles as they used to say, to see if the costs would have been pressed or passed on to customers with mixed results. The biggest leap was at Burger King, where a Texas double Whopper meal cost $15.09 on March 29, but surged to $16.89 on April 1, a price increase whopping of $1.80 per meal. Okay, do the math, all right? You're going to charge more for the people working there. The people who are running the place are going to charge more for the people eating there. Let's give you 1 second here. Oh, this one's really surprising, but I would never go to Burger King for this. The Big Fish Meal also jumped from $7.49 on the menu before April 1 to $11.49 after, an increase of $4. That's like going to a Chinese place and going, excuse me, can I just get a hamburger? They're just going to look at you and go, okay, sure, we can make you a hamburger, but do you really want a hamburger? Yeah, I want a hamburger. I don't like Chinese food. What? It's like, what are you doing eating here, man? So Burger King's not alone. At Hart House, H-A-R-T, a fast food chain founded by actor Kevin Hart, prices increased by 25%. Before the law was enacted, a large fries, a large fries cost $4.49. Okay, the place is not cheap to begin with, and as small as Kevin Hart is, I wouldn't be paying that kind of money for, an order of fries. So on April 1, the price went up to $5.99. Milkshakes of all sizes increased by $1, while sandwiches went up by 50 cents each. At the nearby In-N-Out Burger, the price hikes were more modest. Yeah, because if you look at In-N-Out is kind of, I almost see In-N-Out as almost like the Chick-fil-A of burger chains. Why they stay in a godless state like California, I have no clue whatsoever. They pretty much are in a completely, we hate these religious guys state like California is. And the thing about In-N-Out is you go there and there's like religious stuff on, like their serving containers, which I don't have a problem with. Makes no never mind to me. Basically doesn't hold the whatever inside it. That's my biggest claim to fame. Can it actually hold whatever it is I'm trying to consume without making a hellacious mess? That's all I'm really worried about. If you're passing along gospel, it's like, yeah, okay, that's cute. Whatever. It means nothing to me, all right? I'm not pressed in the slightest. However, the fact I didn't get to hit it In-N-Out kind of really chapped my butt when I was in San Francisco. I really wanted to go there. Anyway, so prices got mixed reviews from customers on Monday. Quote, it's such a nominal increase, said Sean Fields, 40. He was buying lunch at In-N-Out. Quote, it seems like a reasonable amount, end quote, but not everyone agrees. To be honest, I don't like it because then everything else goes up. Alvin Moreno, who was buying a meal at Burger King, told the Post. These people have to make a living one way or another, but then the restaurants have to up the prices. Excuse me, did you not elect these officials who are imparting this amount of suck on you? Did you not make these things have happen by enabling these power-mad tyrants to do these things to you? Did you not say you have open license with which to... Hang on, I got this one, sound guy. Did you not have open license with which to simply just give me more than a little bit of... You're in the jailhouse now. Oh, that's one of sound guy's newest, hack chops. Yeah, you're in the jailhouse now. Whee! Death! Oh, no. It was not snoo what California's doing to their people. It was complete and total. Okay, I'll allow the ding. That actually was a very on point, deliverance. That one was good. Okay, you'll get that one, and not a problem, right? But anyway, residing in California, you're gonna get Dead Pac-Man snooze. It's not a ding. No, that's not a ding. Sorry, no.
You're despicable.
Sound guy, no. Door knocking, dog chomp. What? No, stop. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, they're gonna get, wee, and then a bite in the bag by the. Yeah, if you live in California and you vote for Democrats, you should expect to get more than a little bit of Exactly. So you live there, you're gonna get that. Oh yeah, I'll allow that ding. That was actually on point. I'll allow the ding. Patriot Fever. A hellacious mess is a good measure of a burger experience. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I usually have two ways of describing a hamburger. The first way is it's a standard hamburger, you just eat it. The second way to describe it is I can't put this down burger, because as soon as you pick it up, it's just like stuff is just falling out. And you're like, I'm committed. If I put this down, it's just going to go. You're going to see a little mushroom cloud as everything just goes, it just flies off in different directions. So, yeah, that's kind of one of those, you either have an okay burger or I can't put it down burger. So, yes, the hellacious mess, that would definitely describe that kind of a burger. Some years ago, I was driving in a tow company, and we had a guy get on the radio, and we're driving along, and he keys up, and he's like, well, I think I've done the impossible. So me being the curious type that I was, I keyed up, and I was like, okay, what did you do that was impossible? He goes, I just drove along in a stick shift tow truck and ate 2 Big Macs without stopping. It's like, at that point, everybody's like, kind of like, golf clapping in their trucks. Like, that's very impressive. He goes, yeah, the inside of my truck looks like a rabbit cage with lettuce everywhere, but I managed to make it work. So yeah, he basically had the hellacious burger experience while driving with I think he had a car in the back too. So he was kind of committed. Let's see. Scrolly. One McDonald's franchisee, though, says he has no choice but to raise prices already. Quote, as a business owner, when you're dealing with the kind of extraordinary overnight change, a 25% increase in wages, no stone has to remain unturned. Scott Roderick, who owns 18 restaurants in Northern California, told CNN on Monday. In the last 3 months, Roderick has raised menu prices between 5 to 7% of anticipation. Oh, geez. So he basically jumped ahead of the game. So Roderick raised menu prices between 5 to 7% in anticipation of the new law going into effect. Yeah. So basically, here it is. They passed a law which raises the wages of more than 500,000 people who work in fast food restaurants. The previous minimum wage was $16 per hour. Now it's $20 per hour. Let's just do something really crazy, stupid, and easy here. Let's just open another window here and say, and let's make this official by making it this kind of a query. State population of California is 38.9 million. So let's be completely specific here. So for 500,000 people, for 39 million, which is what, about 5 or 6% of the population, if that, they basically just the whole rest of the state. I think you pretty much said that they pretty much just blew that one up for $4.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother. Whee! Okay, that's not exactly where I want to go on Sound Guy, but sure. So anyway, they basically completely hosed the entire state population for 5-7% of them. Is not equitable, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, that is pretty much screwing everybody for, what is it, 1 in not even 10, 1 in 14, 1 in 15. I'm just chasing the math in my head real fast. So 1 in 14 people, they basically flogged everybody in the state of California. Yeah, that sounds fair. Socialism, communism, fascism. Really, when you kind of point that thing at each other, they're all roughly about the same. 3 guys all shooting, into the center, and you're the target in the middle. So they decide that everybody should suffer equally for somebody else to make $4 more an hour. Now, let's just be completely equitable here, okay? How much do you think the state income taxes in California, where they're grafting themselves back some of that $4? Now, there's an issue Mrs. Dude has, and she's a government employee. So obviously, where she works, basically, I'm not going to get into it, but let's just say she's a government employee. She works for an agency. Okay. I'm not going to get into it any further than that. That's neither he said, she said, or anybody needs to get to the deeper components of it. But when she does, XYZ performance, blah, blah, blahs, and they're like, wow, golf clap. You've done spectacularly. You're going to get a cash reward. So she gets the cash reward. What do? They don't give her just, here's a check. Enjoy. No. They take that and they put it into her normal pay, which then bumps her up to a different tax level. So let's just say she gets $500. Okay. So that additional $500 bumps you into additional taxes, bumps you into additional tax bracket. So by the time you're done, you might get maybe half, 2/3, maybe. And if it's more than that, obviously there's a bigger tax grab. Like, I remember they're going on and on about, like, oh, this guy just won, the $1.2 billion or something like that. He's going to be lucky to clear $600 million. So if he gets 1.2 billion, okay, let's just be correct here. That's 12,000 million. Okay, let's use the British parlance here. That's not trillion, okay, or gazillions. It's billion. So that's 12,000 million. Start counting zeros. So he gets 600,000. That's 50% of his winnings. That's not equitable, in my opinion. That is excessive. That is abusive. And that is contrary to anybody's way, shape, and form of anything fair. If you win a high dollar amount, you shouldn't have to give half of it back to the federal government just for the pleasure of getting this high dollar amount. What should have happened is it should be prorated on the dollar amount that anybody else would be taxed upon and go, oh, yeah, well, you've made money. You get X amount per dollar removed from taxes. I'm a huge fan of flat taxes for exactly that reason. Or I'm even better, a huge fan of sales taxes and no income taxes. Okay. Patriot River says 600 million would last me about 72 hours on farm ground. $600 million would last me for a hell of a lot longer than that, because I would probably take a check and go, you know what? I'm going to buy a plane ticket right now, and I'm probably going to go visit my friend like on the border of Texas. Then I'm going to sneak into Mexico, and then I'm going to fly someplace else. And I'm probably going to take that over to the Cayman Islands, and I'm going to probably deposit it. And when the federal government goes, hey, you took the money out of country, I'm going to go, yeah, try to get it back out of country, because I'm not going to give it back. Or better yet, if I was to win high dollar amounts, I wouldn't be a Maryland resident. The very least, I would be moving to a tax-free state like Texas or California. Sorry, Texas or Florida. Excuse me, I did not mean to say California. Texas or Florida, and I would claim it with a trust. I would not go, yeah, here's Joe Blow's money. Let's just take as much of it as we possibly can from him. No, that's not how you do it. There's many ways to do things better than that, to shield your finances from the federal government so they don't take excessively that much more than they ever possibly should in the first place. because, oh, yeah, they really sock it to the rich guys. And if you're a rich guy, you know how to shield your finances. Probably what I would do at that point is I would have some form of, mutual fund earning, say, $10 to $20 million a year. Oh, tax me on that. Darn, daddy, please don't hurt me too much. You're taxing me on $10 to $20 million and I got 600 large in the bank. Oh, ow, you're sticking me for $10 to $20 million. Oh, yeah. And then I would have an LLC and all my stuff would be owned by the LLC. Let's see. Scrolly. I cannot begin to tell you how much this cracks me up, but how these two wound up together, Marley Matlin and James Carville. It's for the life of me. It's just definitely like the opposites attract kind of thing. I mean, Marley Matlin is kind of like, not the most amazing female ever, but she's decent looking enough that when you look at her besides James Carville, you're just going, why? That's just it's just yes, it's just
Oh my.
yeah, it's really oh my. So anyway, Carville is now kirking out, and obviously he made his claim to fame by working with Clinton, helping Clinton get elected. But Carville is now saying this coming in from Newsmax.com, which is one of my least sourced pieces of news, simply because their website's annoying. Their website is so annoying. If you go there with an ad blocker, it's like all these stupid pop-ups and buy me nows. Ugh. I hate pop-up buy me nows, paywalls, all the rest of that. As a matter of fact, I actually got a really good website for removing paywalls for just that reason. Disgusting. You want to read this? You got to pay for it. You got to basically subscribe to us. No, I'm not going to subscribe to you to just reference something once in a blue moon. That's not going to happen. Anyway, so Carville is now saying young voters are quitting the Democrats in droves. Well, couldn't happen to a bunch of nicer guys. Excuse me 1 second here. So, Democrat strategist James Carville ranted on Sunday over the Democrat Party's waning support among young voters going into the 2024 presidential election. Okay, let's just be completely honest here. If you're looking at Joe Caca tripping and falling everywhere, are you really going to be enthused by some old grandpa-looking guy crashing and burning and saying stupid stuff half the time, or just going, locking the gears completely and not able to form a coherent thought? And anytime he does speak, it better be scripted, or dude is dead in the water. Does that inspire confidence with the 20-somethings? No. Does it inspire anything with the 30-somethings? No, because they're looking down the pike going, okay, when I get to be like middle-aged, and they don't consider themselves middle-aged, even though life expectancy like 70s or so, and they're like, 30-ish. They don't think that's middle-aged. Oh, your life expectancy is 72. Dude, you're 36. You're middle-aged. Do the math. Anyway, so Carville's saying, I've been very vocal about this. It's horrifying. Our numbers among younger voters, particularly younger blacks, younger Latinos, younger people of color, particularly males, we're not shredding them. They're leaving in droves. You're not going to convince under 30, under 35. Oh, we really built this country, a great country for you. You're looking at this job market. I don't think you're going to buy that. We need a strong advocacy here. Explain to these youngsters what exactly they have at stake here. Forget birth control pills. Forget reproductive rights. Forget environmental protection. Forget anything. Okay, I got to tell you, first and foremost, the blatantly honest statements from this man are absolutely pure and simple biblical truth. The guy is speaking it from the heart, calling it what it is, saying it for what it is, and calling it exactly just how many shades of F ubar they are completely. And the thing about it is maybe they're not jumping over to Trump, but they're just going, no, I'm tapping out. I'm done. I'm not playing these, good guy, bad guy, good guy, both guys. They just go, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm out. I'm just done. Martina Sasquatch, appreciate you coming by, brother. No problem. It was always up in review if you guys want to see that. And scrolly. But yeah, like I said, essentially, they are now seeing it for the voters are now seeing it for what it is. So this one is going to be nice and nice, tight bunghole stuff for Mark Schmuckerberg. Oh, yeah, that pile of monkey puke. He is going to be suffering more than a little bit of freak out here. And I'm feeling nothing but Schadenfreude. If you guys know what Schadenfreude is, that is the German phrase meaning that you're taking pleasure from somebody else's discomfort. Oh, I'm having definite Schadenfreude. Trust me. Large, stinky, hairy piles of it. This one coming in Newsmax again. So after the Wisconsin vote, the RNC is likely to launch a war on Zuckerbucks. Now, if you guys know anything about the amount of aid and comfort that, Schmuckyberg gave to the DNC to try to get Joe Kaka in office, the mere amount of cash infusion was profound. But besides that, also, the shadow banning, the, amount of removing posts, the amount of timeouts, I received more than several myself, and the gamesmanship to try to silence the conservative / Republicans. Oh, those MAGA Republicans, ultra MAGA Republicans. Oh, the MAGA hat wearing ultra right wing, disgusting attributes they applied to everybody that was other than them. Excuse me one sec. I'm still not 100% back in my voice there, so that's why I keep hacking, carrying on, and taking swigs. Anyway, word of note there. So Wisconsin voters resoundingly elected to ban out-of-state election interference with a vote counting on Tuesday. So barely 24 hours later, Newsmax learned that members of the Republican National Committee were discussing launching a movement nationwide to eradicate the influence of outside money in elections. Oh, man. Money in election administration, such as deployed by Facebook founder Mark Schmuckerberg in 2020. With nearly all votes counted, 54% of Badger State voters supported question 1 to ban all private funding of elections. An even larger number of voters, 58%, voted to enact question 2 to restrict the administration of elections to, quote, only election officials designated by law. Both measures enjoyed support at transcended party labels. So let's just be completely honest here. Everybody sees it for what it is. It's this fake, farcical, outside interference crap that everybody is like, look, if you win, you win. But I don't want it to be an honest, I really want to curse here. I want it to be an honest, blanking election, okay? I don't want Schmuckerberg going in there because I'm rich, I can screw with the process. Everybody gets that. Martina Sasquatch, I survived 39 months in the Facebook cooler. Where's my medal? Dude, you can't get on Facebook currently? Holy crap. No wonder you're on MeWe and the other websites. That is profoundly disgusting. Nobody should be silenced like that. Verifiable elections are crucial to our freedom. Joan Beglinger, a 2022 independent candidate for Wisconsin governor, told Newsmax after the vote, "We live in a world where winning is everything, in a political environment where people will cheat if they can. Passing constitutional amendments to keep outside money out of our elections and to bar people of no business our political process was the only option available to the voters because we have a governor, Democrat Tony Evers, who opposes necessary reforms." Maybe you should just impeach him and have a recall election and boot his ass to the curb. Nah, it's too much working against the process. Oh, Martina Sasquatch. No, I deleted my account 2 years ago. Okay. Eesh. 39 in the last 44 months that you had in Facebook in the cool. What the hell could you post on Facebook that would be so horrific that they go, you know what? We got to silence this guy. What the hell could you possibly have said that was so profoundly uncomfortable to the libtards that they go, ah! And they shrivel up like slugs on a pile of salt? Wow. Wow. I mean, words hurt. Ooh, words hurt. This one I think is complete and absolute utter horse hockey, and I'm being clean here. That you have to join the NRA to have gun rights. This needs to be fixed instantly in SCOTUS. So MLN.com, NRA members are protected against the AFT, the AFT pistol brace rule. So supposedly they place a preliminary injunction against the AFT, preventing them from enforcing the pistol brace rule if you're a member of the NRA or a couple other gun groups. It's utter horse crap. Then I heard from other people saying, well, it's really not like that. It's kind of, pretty much umbrella on everybody. I don't care if you got a pistol brace. I don't care if you basically have, basically bump gun stuff. There's nothing that makes the firearm more deadly than the bullet coming out of it, okay? How many times you're firing into dirt on your farm or doing some other stupid stuff means nothing. Putting a pistol brace on and shooting more accurately means you're probably going to hit the bad guy, okay? I really don't have a problem with a pistol brace. I really don't have a problem with short barrel rifles. I really, really don't have a problem with machine guns or suppressed weapons. Any of that stuff should be free to own with minimal restrictions. Off the list for the guys to go, well, we don't like the fact they look like XYZ, or they seem to be more mean looking. I love the one with the AFT guy was trying to do a public demonstration and he couldn't figure out how to take the weapon apart. The utter incompetency of those guys that are supposed to be enforcing the laws. That's enough of it right there, okay? Right there. Right there. That's all you need to say about, the Second Amendment and the First Amendment being supported by the Second Amendment. Yeah, that's all you need to say about it. It's a reason why I have the snake there. No step on snake. I don't know about this skank. She does absolutely nothing for me. Coming up from MLN.com, but Tulsi Gabbard supposedly has had a change of heart, and she blows the whistle on Capitol Hill gun grabbers. Little too late, little too little, little too not feeling it. So coming in from the article says, left-wing media is now portraying Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard's interview with Donald Trump Jr. on March 11 triggered podcast as groveling to become former President 2024's running mate. They are perhaps deliberately avoiding another part of the interview like the proverbial plague. It was when Trump Jr. touched on the Second Amendment that Gabbard, who left the Democrat Party after leaving Congress, became something of regular on Fox News, unloaded on Capitol Hill anti-gunners in the Biden-Harris administration. The 3-minute, 51-second segment saw Gabbard first explain her childhood growing up in Hawaii, probably the most restrictive states for gun ownership in the country, and her later experiences serving the military to detail her early views towards gun ownership were shaped. She's not pro-gun, okay? She's really not pro-gun, okay? It's like, I got to use that one where Quail got smacked upside the head with it. It's like, we know firearms rights. Firearms rights are something that we really, truly endear ourselves with. You are no pro-gunner. Not at all. Oh, man. You're not pro-gun. You do not impress me with this in the slightest. This one, I disagree with this one heartily. And I got to say this is beyond ignorant to even, predispose yourselves to coming up with something like this and saying, yep, Thor's hammer, this is our cause. We will make it just. We will impose this upon the Democrats and they will bend before our will. This, I really, really, if I didn't want to curse before, I really, really, really want to curse now. But this is about as most blanking ignorant, Thor's hammer, as you could possibly get, okay? This is high marks of just rank idiocy, indulgent crap stuffed on top of piles of other indulgent crap. I could not do this justice at how ignorant this one is. This one coming in from Fox News / AmericanJournalDaily.com. Let's just say I don't agree with this, but renaming an airport after Trump, why? Why? He's still alive, and frankly, if they really want to send the message, rename another airport, but do it in a seriously blue state. Virginia is not, well, it's purple at best, but Dulles sucks. My wife absolutely hated it. The only thing going for it is the mere fact that it's only an international airport in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, but any other smaller one gets you a bigger airport and the layover transfer, okay? I've actually flown out of BWI, went up to Philly, and then flew across to San Fran, okay? It's not that hard to lay over and get on a bigger plane. But what's the limit on the local ones that are smaller? Obviously, bigger planes. But this is literally a stupid-ass waste of resources to play name games. So, from Fox News, a group of House Republicans are pushing to rename Washington, D.C.'s main international airport after former President Donald John Trump. Quote, as millions of domestic and international travelers fly through the airport, excuse me, there's no better symbol of freedom, prosperity, and strength than hearing "Welcome to Trump International Airport" as they land on American soil. Legislative text obtained from Fox News Digital on Monday showed that if passed, the Washington Dulles International Airport in Virginia shall, after the date of enactment of this act, be known and designated as the Donald John Trump International Airport, except they used J instead of John. I cannot begin to tell you how blanking idiotic this is. Now, people are going to go, well, who the hell was Dulles? Well, Dulles was like one of the first FAA guys ever. Like the guy running the place. Dulles was that guy. There's a reason why they chose him in that airport. And of course, it's obviously in proportion to where it is to Washington, D.C. Okay, I got to get a little mappy here for a second, okay? Washington, D.C. is basically down here, right? You have D.C. on the other side, kind of like so, and then Virginia is like on the other side. Then you have the Potomac kind of like cutting down the middle, and I'm doing this backwards because I'm inverse. So anyway, the DC is basically like a diamond that's been cut basically about in half, kind of bisecting from one corner down to one corner, and Virginia side is the Virginia side, going around the whole mess, cutting halfway through Maryland, halfway through Virginia. Actually, I think the loop on the Virginia side is actually longer for the Capital Beltway than the Maryland side. But anyway, so you cross over from the upper part of the Capital Beltway and you cross over into Virginia. You go 10 miles, I think it is. You go 10 miles into Virginia, and then you bear off. There's a major roadway called 66. Horrific roadway. You don't ever want that. That leads back towards DC. It also leads out also like, better parts of, bougie parts of Virginia. And you can bear off onto that, and there's a toll road. Well, right beside that toll road is the Dulles Access Road. So coming off the Capital Beltway, 13 miles, I think it's northwest, then takes you to Dulles Airport. So technically, Dulles Airport is up here. DC is down here. DC's airport is literally crossing over the Potomac and going south a little ways to an area known as Crystal City in Virginia. So you go on the banks of the Potomac, and that's where Reagan National Airport is. You literally can take the metro train to that airport. Now, also, after I can't tell you how many years, because they actually built Dulles like back in the 60s and 70s, they finally got it out of their hair to go, okay, we're going to spend a whole too much money, and we're going to make a dedicated metro train that goes way the hell out of D.C., and I think it's like a 37, 38-minute ride to get out of D.C. and go to Dulles Airport on the train. I think it's the Silver Line. The yellow line, I believe, it's either the yellow or the orange actually goes to Dulles. And I've done that. Goes to Reagan. And I've actually done that. I used to live on the northeast corner of Washington, D.C. on the Maryland side, like 3-4 miles north of the D.C. line, area known as Langley Park, Hyattsville. And then after that, I lived in College Park, so a little further east and maybe a little ways north. So anyway, all these areas basically that I lived in, I could access the local buses, the local trains, and then actually get into the airport and fly out. And I had done that. I was dating a girl years ago. Her family and her went up to Maine. They drove up there in the family van. Uh, you know, old school high top, the old E150 vans. Actually, it's a pretty cool ride. And they drove that up there. That was like their vacation truck. So they drove that thing up there, and I flew into Portland, Maine after leaving out of Reagan to meet up with them and came back and reversed my way back to my house. Very simple, very easy. Did not even think the word Dulles. So Flash had some years, obviously, a good number of years. Excuse me, good number of years. Met up with Mrs. Dude. Mrs. Dude gets lined up to do a family vacation with her nephew, her sister, and my brother-in-law. And they're going to fly down and do the Mouse, obviously a Disney thing. I'm staying local so they can have fun down there, do their, shake and bake and all the rest of that fun stuff down there. And I was doing an airport shuttle gig at the time. I think I was recovering after one of my knee surgeries. And she basically said, oh, yeah, we're going to be flying out, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, okay, BWI. She said, no, BWI is like 23 minutes from my house. She goes, no, we're leaving out of Dulles. So they're flying out of Dulles. And we're heading down, or before that, I said, oh, you're not going to like this airport. She's like, why? I was like, everybody hates Dulles. Everybody. So anyway, CLUS, you went 200 miles in the Dulles access road a few days after it opened? Dude, that's saying, well, there's some good long straight sections. I could definitely say, yeah, that's definitely a good place to do it. But there's so many places for the cops to hide on that street. So anyway, looking at the way, shape, and form, she basically got down there. I dropped her off. Obviously, I was dropping her off, picking them up, dropping them off after they came back. So dropped them off. They did the trip, got down there, picked them back up. It's like, oh, hey, honey, how you doing? Did you have a good vacation? She just looked at me and said, this airport sucks. not hi, nice to see you. This airport sucks. Literally what happened was I come off the plane and there's trams and there's what they refer to as mobile lounges. Imagine, if you would, basically like pretty much like a big bus, and it literally goes up to the plane and jacks up to get you on level with the plane. Now, that's old tech because it only carries like 150 people. And you think like a bigger jet that's like 300 to 500 people. I'm talking like big jet, like, A380s or 747s, it's like 400 or 500 people. Well, they're not going to run 4 or 5 of these buses out there, but they have other terminals and other stuff like that. But it's really a spread out airport. So she gets back and there's like, okay, we're back at the main, air quotes, main terminal. And she's hoofing it forever to get to the baggage claim area. That's why. The baggage claim at BWI, painless. It's really painless. You get off the plane, you basically go downstairs. There's the little loop around things. You just find the little loop around thing and you wait for your bags to fall out. Done. Dulles, you're hoofing it, and you're just hoofing it, and you're hoofing it, and you're hoofing it. Because it's an airport that was designed back in the 60s and 70s where that's just how they did stuff. Anyway, so yeah, naming it after Trump, I see it as just a stupid enterprise. I don't know why they would ever think this is a great idea, the Donald J. Trump International Airport, except to simply stick the finger in the eye of the Democrats to go, no, you can't hope but see the guy's name prominently displayed real close to DC. And every time you fly in and out of that thing, you now go, I'm not flying in and out of that airport ever again. I'm going down to Reagan and getting on a little dinky plane. There's a problem. If you look at the numbers, obviously Dulles moves, scads of people. It's a true international airport. Has like all the big names flying in there. You name the airline internationally, they fly in and out of Dulles. Okay, that's just how it is. IAD is the airport code. BWI is BWI by me, and of course Reagan is DCA. So IAD, DCA, and BWI. Those are 3 airports around here. There's a reason why I know those airport codes because I go to them all the time. So anyway, basically trying to play that game, I think it's just a stupid enterprise. Couple coming down from American Journal again. McLaughlin explains how polling and data shows that New York is up for grabs for Donald Trump. After 58% of voters say Joe Biden's playing a role in these Trump indictments, they're all political, and there's a double standard in America. And there's another poll showing 56 to 30%. The majority of Americans say Biden is trying to put Trump in jail to stop him from winning the election. Thor's hammer. People are seeing it for what it is. And it's blatantly bloody damn obvious. The other one I've heard that's kind of blatantly bloody damn obvious is everything they're charging Trump with is the stuff that they're guilty of. Yeah. This guy, I cannot begin to tell you how awesome this is, but it's in one of my news stories, truthpress.com. There's a guy who's the son of one of the Hamas founders, commanders, call it what you will. He converted to Christianity, got the hell out of there, was a spy, helped the Israelis take down a lot of their stuff. Good dude, and makes some screaming Mimiite chick. And I do mean a white chick who's going, well, Hamas is misunderstood and this, that, and he's like, no, they're not. They're just bad dudes. And he's like, you know what? And you're cosplaying by wearing, by wearing the garb and the shawl and all that thing. You're cosplaying, okay? You're not even truly a Muslim. You're somebody that's talking up to this thing, and he made her sit there open mouth like, you just called me on what I am. Yes, I just called you on what you are. You fake farcical white chick. You are not a Muslim. I cannot begin to tell you this one. I'm going to go through a couple quick ones here. Supposedly, Buttashoo, he's mocking people who don't want electric vehicles. Yeah, well, I mock him for being a bunny foo-foo. Supposedly, there was the earthquake that's up in New York. I actually, believe it or not, I actually was home that day, and I felt a little something going on, and it was like this deep. It's like, oh, okay. Well, not too far from me is the Aberdeen Proving Grounds, and it's not unusual for those guys to do night fire missions and blowing stuff up and tank practice and whatnot. So I'm not used, I'm not too terribly unused to the house going, gargling a little bit and shaking a little bit and, some rumble. I'm used to that stuff. But this was, fairly early in the morning. Oh, it was a case of that wasn't that. That was something else. Well, literally, it was like, a little trembler aftershock that I felt down here in Baltimore, even though the epicenter was like Philly to New York City. Like 90 to 180 to 200 miles north of me was that big swath of land going, brrr. Yeah. And I felt it down here in Baltimore. That was interesting. But I got to say, that whole little Sodom and Gomorrah thing keeps coming to mind because the Almighty does not do little things. Let's see. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but this is kind of one of those, how can you possibly be this dumb kind of a thing? But, okay, this was a DEI hire. And she was working for, I forget which one it was, one of the airlines, but she was told, specifically, do not go around this jet. So what happened was, it was an American Airlines plane. What happened is, if you know the way that jets work, jets basically, they take a lot to start the engines. So what they normally do is they'll have themselves plugged into what's called shore power, or they literally take the plane and they just plug it into an auxiliary power unit, literally like a thing on a cart. It's like a big generator, and it starts the engines because it takes a lot of power to get them spun up and get the engines to actually start. So failing that, what they normally do is they'll start one engine, and then they have something called an air bypass. It's literally a big valve that they flick a switch on the dash, and this valve opens up, and it takes some of the air from the engine, squirts it into the other engine, spins that engine up, and then that engine starts easier. Usually they'll start like left engine and go to right engine, or right engine and go to left engine, depending on the plane. And the other one they do too is they have something called an APU, or an auxiliary power unit. If you ever look in the back of a jet, instead of having a little cap that's like rounded on the tail, there's actually like a little hole. Well, that's the exhaust for this little mini jet turbine that runs off jet fuel and literally is a generator built into the plane. So instead of having that big cart parked outside that they jack into the plane, they just fire up the APU. Well, on this jet, the APU was malfunctioning. So what they did was they did something called a cool down period. Plane comes in, plane lands, plane basically pulls into the terminal, and it's sitting there with the engines spinning at a certain speed to cool them down before they turn them off. Because anytime you take a plane and you bring it in a landing and you do that reverse thruster thing, you really heat the engines up. I mean, they get smoking hot. So you farting around on the ground, basically just putting along, doesn't give them the opportunity to cool off. What you do is you drop the engine speed down and you let them idle, and they eventually cool themselves down by airflow. So what they did essentially was they had this chick, and the plane had 59 passengers, 4 crew members on board, and was operated by Envoy Air, which is an affiliate of American Airlines. So the APU was used to power the plane without using the engines, but was not working. So according to the safety board, the pilots decided to give both engines a 2-minute engine cool down period while they waited for the plane to be connected to the ground power. So the NTSB, or the National Traffic Safety Board, said the ground crew had held a safety meeting 10 minutes before the flight's arrival, followed by a secondary safety huddle held immediately before the Embraer jet reached the gates. To reiterate, the engines would remain running, and the plane should not be approached until the engines were shut down and the pilots turned off the beacon light. Translation: the plane is hot. Read like air quotes. The plane is hot. Do not get within the zone of the air intakes, or potentially you could become a victim of serious suction. So moments later, they said she walked, and the chick literally walked in front of the engines of the plane carrying an orange safety cone and was pulled off her feet and into the operating engine, which then pretty much KILLED her with great alacrity. And she'd been warned numerous times, don't do these things. In fact, 10 minutes before it happened, she was warned, don't do these things. Now, the reason why she was hired is obviously because she was a certain racial aspect, and obviously she was a she, which means you have to hire this person, even if they basically check all the wrong boxes on the tests, and they are basically double digits, not triple digits in terms of brain efficiency. Just give me 1 second here. But I actually happened to look at a Twitter where her girlfriend's going, oh, there's so many mean comments here about my blah, blah, blah. She was this, that, and the other thing. She was such a wonderful person. She also left the dude that was with her and 3 kids behind. So you would think it would be maybe just a little bit more on the front of your head to go, you know, that is a giant kill you device. And if I mess with it, it is going to cream me. Well, I got to say, I'm not going to forgive stupid people for being stupid, and jets are giant kill you devices, and they deserve the respect around being dangerous equipment. However, I will lay you even odds she was warned not to enter into a safety zone and said, you won't tell me what to do, and I will lay you even better odds she's done it a bunch of times, daring fate to wreck her stupid self, but fate will not be denied, and she paid the ultimate price of being stupid. Airlines normally have very well marked safety zones around the jet intakes. She broke protocol to enter into that area. I got zero mercy for her at this point in time. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and oh my stars and garters, you really had to go outside the lines and realms of just total ignorance to do these things and do it to yourself. Wow. You guys know me backwards and forwards at this point. You've obviously seen me enough times. My usual choices of those things of which I tend to, have in my sphere of influence and involve myself upon usually does not involve the sound guy. How would you phrase it correctly for what I'm intimating here? We spoke on this earlier. We're talking about the
XYZPDQOU812. Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. PDQOU812. You've got mail.
Anyway, they tried to throw me in suggested pages and a trans.
SYZPDQOU812.
Yeah, so basically it was, quote, want to see a transgender page? No, I don't want to see a transgender page. Needless to say, I pretty much reported it as something that was pretty snarky on my part. It was just yeah, I am not wanting to see the XYZ PDQ OU812. Yeah, no, that is not my choice. Anyway, so that got blocked, reported, and all the rest of that fun stuff. Scrolly. I got a couple, quick channel updates here. I did post a new video, and if you guys caught up on that one or not, but I did post up a new video of something that I found in the store, decided to try. Actually, I was in the Aldi's, believe it or not, and they had it. So, but they had a rack of them, and I bought a couple cans just to give them a whirl and give it a try. So I did actually post up a tasting video of the newest variety of Spam, which was Spam Maple Flavor. So catch up on that one. Video is now posted up on YouTube. In a related statement, I will say I also have another one that I did do. I have just updated the Spam playlist, or the Spam and Spam Again, on my 80s podcast channel, which you're currently now watching. So there is now a new playlist, which I've completely revised, gone through, spiffed up, cleaned up, made it all nice and shiny, all the rest of that fun stuff like that there. So anyway, way, shape, and form, good stuff like that. There, I now have a playlist of all the decent. They're okay. Some are older than others. Some of them are newer than others. Most of them, I think, actually did fairly not too terribly long after I moved into this house from the previous house in the city, and they're now up as a playlist. So Spam and Spam Again playlist is live and on the air. See, anything else jumping out at me? So yeah, dude, Spam playlist is go. This one coming in from ammoland.com. I don't know if you guys have experienced this one or not, but supposedly there's now a problem where you have a doctor and you're attending, the doctor's visit, and the doctor's like, so this, that, and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't happen to have any firearms in your house. I mean, they're kind of not good for your health. Yeah. So basically now the doctors are couching health questions along the lines of gun bans and saying potentially you shouldn't have a firearm in a house because it might be dangerous. It might be bad for your health. Well, the only thing I got to say to that one, Doc, is you're there to treat my ailments, not to get snoopy or try to disarm the American public. And by the way, GFYS, I'm out of here. Scrolling. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for the moment. Good stuff like that there. Anything else jumping out at me? Let's see. Anything else jumping out at me? No, I think I've run through it all. Good times like that. Anyway, okay. He's coaching me. See, he brings the music up. He's coaching me. Thanks, sound guy. Anyway, so appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Good stuff like that. You got many other things to do on a Tuesday. You guys hung out with me. You got a gold star for attendance. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next week. Playlist is up. Spam and Spam Again. Good stuff like that there. Maple Spam tasting. I will catch you guys next week. Good stuff like that. Stay safe. Have a good time with all the various things that you're doing. I will catch you guys next week, and I will see you then. Good stuff like that there. And I will be doing other stuff. Maybe the other video. I don't know. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. I will see you then. Catch you guys later. First.